online, but also you can get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Tonight, East African Community is officially celebrating the 25 years since its revival in 1999. The heads of state were here, and they were presented with the resolutions that were reached through the high-level side events that took place earlier today. And amongst the things that has happened here at the Arusha International Conference Center has reiterated the importance of the East African community to each and every member state. You remember that when the treaty was signed in 1999, there were only 3 countries, and now the countries have grown all the way to 8 countries, Somalia being the newest member joining East African community this year, March 2024. President of Tanzania reiterated the major projects that Tanzania has been embarking on, including ensuring 80% of Tanzanians are using clean cooking energy by 2034, but also the building better tomorrow. And that one has created a platform for other countries as well to learn from Tanzania. The President of Kenya, William Ruto, has revived the idea of political federation, saying that it is actually possible if Tanganyika and Zanzibar has united, and it's celebrating decades of union. So it is possible also for other countries as well to join and form a bloc just like European Union, and that one will facilitate and making a better economic opportunities for each and every state, because the market will be even bigger.
Lakini kwanza ni wapongeze Secretariat.
Let me take this opportunity to congratulate the Secretariat for organizing this side event to discuss our 25-year journey since the re-establishment of the East African community. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to our elder statesmen, Mzee Kaguta Yoweri Museveni, Daniel Arap Moi, and Benjamin William Mkapa for their visionary decision to revive this community after its collapse. Today, we celebrate 25 years of progress. On the issue of climate and clean energy, climate change has become a global anthem that everyone sings. However, its implementation varies, with developing countries facing significant challenges in actualizing the necessary measures. Addressing climate change comes with a substantial cost to our nations. For example, in Tanzania, we allocate 4 to 5% of our GDP to combating environmental degradation and the effects of climate change.
We have an East African Court of Justice that is working, and these institutions are the building blocks towards a viable entity that can support the progress of our region. Today, in the intertrade between all our countries, Kenya was the leading country in terms of goods and services that we trade in East Africa. Today, Tanzania has overtaken Kenya, and I must commend Tanzania for the progress they are making, that the numbers are growing of trade between our countries. And as the numbers grow, different countries are selling more, different products, different services within our common market.
The president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, stressed that East Africa has been united since thousands of years ago. So we should not actually make a mistake of not understanding the importance and the strength that we have as East African community. He reiterated the importance of taking advantage of a bigger market, expanded market of the East African community, and saying that each country can actually benefit and making the individuals improving their livelihoods. The president of Somalia has expressed the satisfaction and happiness of the people of Somalia after joining the East African community, urging his country to be given more opportunities so that his country can leverage on the importance and benefits that East African community can create. All in all, the idea of East African community has been deepened here tonight in Arusha. But also earlier I had an opportunity to talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of Tanzania, who said things are going very well. There were 10 areas that the ministers had agreed upon, insisting that 8 of them are going very well and 2 of them need to be discussed more. But on the idea of the having common currency, he insisted that the idea is going very well, and if that one, when it's being achieved, then the political federation will be very much possible to happen here in East Africa.
I'm glad that Mzee Moi and Mzee Mkapa worked with me to reconnect the markets of this area. Besides, we went beyond the mere re-establishment of the CTA, Connected Trading Area, and we created what is supposed to be a free trade area that also aims at political integration by creating the Federation of East Africa. I salute our brothers of Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, DRC, South Sudan, and Somalia for joining the EAC and therefore reconnecting the old CTA. You remember we had a CTA 1,000 years ago, Connected Trade Area, which had been disconnected by the Belgians and the Germans and all those people who came in because of our weaknesses. So now, the former CTA is now fully assembled. But it's now more than a CTA, it is now an FTA, a free trade area. We have gone up.
The Somali government has already created an enabling environment through investment-friendly laws in place, such as the Investors and Investments Protection Law. We have been a socialist country for more than 2 decades, and we have nationalized all the private-owned enterprises. That has taken back Somalia to a certain level. So based on that experience, we decided now to protect the investors and the investment by laws of the land. The Somali government, by establishing that protection laws, has increased the potential for our agricultural products, fisheries, livestock industries to reach broader markets in immense, and those sectors are critical for our traditional economy and employment creation in our community.
So all in all, the meeting, the celebrations to mark 25 years of the East African community went very well. Tomorrow we are expecting to have the 24th summit that will involve the heads of state of all 8 countries. And also they will appoint a new chairperson of the East African community. As you understand, currently the president of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, is the one who is the chairperson. And after 1 year, of course, it's a rotational post that other countries are taking over as the chairperson of the East African community. Now it's time to join my colleague Teddy Mparanyanga in Dar es Salaam at our Mikocheni studio to get all the latest news from around the world.
Thank you very much, Nasa Kingu from Arusha. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. And in other news, the Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, urges the Capital Markets and Securities Authority, CMSA, to collaborate with the President's Office, Regional Administration, and local government to set up an alert system for identification of risks that may damage Samia infrastructure bond. The Vice President, Dr. Mpango, made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during the launch of the Samia infrastructure bond that is funded by CRDB Bank, aiming at facilitating the availability of funds to cover infrastructure managed by Tanzania Rural and Urban Roads Agency, TARURA. Emmanuel Samuel reports.
Launch of Samia infrastructure bond. Launching the bond in Dar es Salaam, the Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, says the bond is going to benefit local contractors. This bond will increase the liquidity of local contractors who implement various road and bridges projects in cities and rural areas, and I congratulate the collaboration between the CRDB Bank and TAMISEMI.
Ubia ambao umejengwa baina ya benki yetu ya CRDB na serikali kupitia ofisi ya Rais TAMISEMI.
On their part, the Executive Director of TARURA, Victor Saif, Chief Executive Officer of the Capital Markets and Securities Authority, CMSA, Nicodemus Mkama, And CRDB Bank CEO Abdul Majid Nsekela comments on the importance of the Samia bond.
With the coming of this bond, this now is going to be, this challenge is now going to be resolved because the contractors will be paid on time upon submission of their certificates or invoices, and there won't be any delay.
The bond that we are celebrating today witnesses the evidence of the conducive policy, legal and regulatory environment provided by the government. And this is going to facilitate implementation of national policies, including national economic empowerment policy, where local contractors are going to be empowered in terms of delivery of their work in time.
I believe it will support the more economic development in the rural area, but more importantly, most of our customer and non-customer, for all Tanzanians, will be able to invest because the coupon rate is very lucrative, about 12%, payable on a quarterly basis, and it's for 5 years. So basically, it's an innovation created between the three parties, CRDB, TAMISEMI, and Tarura, with intent to support the government initiatives.
More than 150 billion shillings is expected to be collected through Samia bond for the development of roads in the country. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Biteko says that Tanzania is in the process of creating friendly policies for maritime safety, parallel with the implementation of strategies to reduce carbon emissions. Dr. Biteko made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during the opening ceremony of the 7th Conference of the Association of African Maritime Administration. Peter Mganga has the following report.
The maritime sector is one of the sectors that contributes to the growth of national income and sustainable economy. Estimates show that more than 80% of international business are maritime transport. Opening the 7th Conference of the Association of African Maritime Administration in Dar es Salaam, the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Biteko, says it is important to have sustainable strategies to promote maritime transport in Africa.
I think it is the time for every country to try at little space as you can, move somewhere, at least after some years, we will zero this world from decarbonized energy. Distinguished delegates, I thank the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization for deciding to participate in this conference personally. Your presence here is a clear testimony that Africa concerns are accorded due weight by the International Maritime Organization, and that IMO is ready to work with the African country in seeing out the implementation of roadmap which will develop the deliberations of this conference.
Speaking at the conference, the Secretary General of International Maritime Organization, Arsenio Domingos, promises to cooperate with all stakeholders, while Minister of Transport, Professor Makame Mbarawa, explains the efforts made by Tanzania in maritime.
IMO is ready to continue to support you. I'm ready to stand by you in all the challenges that you have. But at the same time, I also want you to be prepared to do whatever it is necessary to support IMO. Because I represent 176 member states, all with different objectives and different challenges. But I'm ready to stand by each and every one of you. Government has continued to modernize coastal and non-inland ports to handle import and export for both the country and non-wealthy countries. For example, the modernization of Port of Dar es Salaam through the Dar es Salaam Maritime Gateway project has already been completed by 99%, and this improvement has allowed post-Panamax vessels to access the port.
It is 7th Association of African Maritime Administration Conference for the year 2024. Almost 200 delegates across African countries will be here to discuss different agendas concerning maritime sectors. And this conference will last for 3 days, whereby different agendas will be discussed for the betterment of improving maritime sector in Africa. Peter Mganga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
The Venezuelan election observers say the participation in the democratic voting process by Namibians was a reaffirming of constitutional democracy. The team leader, Erika Faria, says they witnessed content among the eligible voters to have a say in the affairs of their country. Blanche Horaces reports from Namibia.
The election observation mission comprised officials from Venezuela's United Socialist Party. The observation mission has been to various polling stations and communities in Windhoek to observe the electoral process. It says despite the difference in the population size of the voters, there are similarities in the election process in Namibia and Venezuela.
Los lugares que visitamos, it's more or less the same. We saw that despite the fact that the vote here is manual, it looked like an easier and fast process. Once the person gets into that polling booth, the in and out is relatively fast. The difference is, of course, we are over 21 million people that can vote in the country. Or registered voters or people that are qualified to vote. But Namibia is obviously a little bit smaller. So, and then of course we have our election process our elections are a little bit different. Here you guys have the National Assembly and the presidential elections, while there we have them separately.
With counting still underway, the Venezuelan observer mission is yet to share and compare notes with others. In the interim, the observer mission advised that local electoral stakeholders consider finding ways to automate the entire electoral process.
Creemos que siempre la automatización de los procesos hace que once we have electronic voting systems, of course, that actually makes the voting process way faster. That makes it certain that we do not have people standing in lines for a long time. But yes, that may be a challenge, but the one thing that we noticed and that we are quite proud of is the fact that the electoral participation, which is the most important of all things.
The strong interest expressed by the Namibian youth to participate in the election process has also impressed the Venezuelan election observer mission. This is despite the growing global trend of disassociating the youth from socio-economic issues, which the observer mission says is due to external influence.
Por tanto, hay que cuidarla, them being the future, we need to now start respecting them, listening to them, and engaging them, because they are the future. And that is now, and by doing all these things, we can provide them with the tools to now guide the future forward.
The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Kosato Chumi, has attended conference on business and investment between Zanzibar and Belgium. Speaking at the conference, Chumi says the government will continue to cooperate with them by providing investment opportunities. Business persons and investors from Zanzibar and Belgium met in Zanzibar to discuss continued cooperation. Addressing delegates, Minister of State, President's Office, Labor, Economy and Investment, Sharifa Sharif says Zanzibar has many investment opportunities, inviting participants to explore them. And in case you missed any of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere across the globe. Now let us take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Up next is sports news. In sports news, students who are graduating in arts and beauty have been encouraged to employ themselves through the skills they have acquired to increase their income and contribute economic development of the nation. Speaking in Dar es Salaam at the conclusion of the training, the Assistant Director of Vocational Education from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mwajuma Ibrahim, says vocational and beauty training if used properly, will create great jobs for young people and thus help the government overcome the employment problem in the country.
Vocational education is the trend of the world at the moment. The whole world is talking about getting development through education and skills. So it is not only in Tanzania, it is the whole world. And we, as part of the world, must look at how young people will get opportunities and develop as a person and as the nation as a whole.
Fashion is business.
Fashion is a business because in the past, we used to make art for the sake of art, but now we make art with goals.
Yeah.
If you reach masters, it means something big. It's a big ability, and you can dress anyone at any level. So I believe training I got is good, and I'm going to do something better, different from the beginning.
More than 100 students have been given technical training, including clothing design, beauty, and tailoring. Performing artist Anthony Mwango believes that this form of art is now beginning to receive the recognition it deserves in the Tanzanian society, unlike in previous years. Anthony told TBC that the difficulty of the local market has been a major challenge for artists to benefit from it, mainly due to differences in income levels and the value of the artwork itself.
It's very expensive because it's also expensive to acquire the knowledge of art, because not so many schools, as we are aware, or universities do offer this kind of education. I myself, I did my first degree from Zambia, and then I continued working on my progression, but up to now I'm still paying for my PhD and working with different organizations. And so it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money, and takes a lot of youth to interact with other people that are experts in the area. So that's why it is expensive.
That is sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let us take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, this is 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Starting from tonight, 9 p.m. The state of the lake and the state of the sea is expected to be slight to moderate, and we expect chance of rainfall over most parts of the country. And this comes with an advisory of severe weather, of which Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of period of heavy rains over some few areas of southwestern highland, southern region, southern coast, and central part of the country, together with Morogoro region. So the necessary measures and precautions should be taken. And now let us see of the weather details, and this is what we expect for tonight. For Lake Victoria Basin, western part of the country, Rukwa region, we expect particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. For Songwe, Mbeya, Njombe, Iringa, Ruvuma, southern part of Morogoro, Singida, Dodoma, we expect particular condition, rain showers over few areas. And the remaining parts of the country is expected to be dry. And now let us see what we expect for tomorrow. For southwestern highland, southern region, and southern coast, we expect cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun intervals. For Lake Victoria Basin, western part of the country, central part of the country, northeastern highland, Tanga, together with Pemba and Unguja Isles, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For Morogoro region, Dar es Salaam, Pwani, including Mafia Isles, we expect partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And now let us take a look of the next 4 days weather forecast. For Dar es Salaam, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For Dodoma, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For Mbeya, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. For Mwanza, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Kilimanjaro, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Morogoro, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Arusha, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And that's all for today. Make sure to catch up again tomorrow. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Mariam Fares. Bye-bye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. Have a splendid night.